Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to cloud test lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
We will discuss more about XML before we discuss the web services. We know the XML class lately, but now for your understanding, we have the XML tag, the JSTL XML tag to parse the XML. So, how does usually an XML looks like? We have different tags. Each open tag has a closed tag. I mean, probably you might be knowing certain aspects of an XML because whatever we see here, it's like it's the kind of different tags that we are using so far, like the JSTL tag. Those are specified in the form of an XML. Even the HTML, right? The way that we use is the predefined syntax of an XML. Like we nest tags properly. Like if we have a TD inside a table, if you open a TD inside a table or TR inside a table, we close it before we close the table. Right? If you open a table, we open a TR inside it. So we're going to close the TR before we close the table. So the nesting and all this. So we have some tags for the parsing or reading and getting some content of the XML, whatever is relevant to us or whatever we are interested in probably. So I have an XML document. I'm interested in identifying only the specific part of it, or a specific tag or specific value that I'm interested in. We use these tags, or if you want to read the XML and format it in a different way, we can iterate through different tags using these for each and all these things. So this calling out the post tag is used to just output the value of it. So it's more like an expression, scriptlet that's used to render the expressions, but it's used for XPath expressions. What is an XPath expression? That's what we get after parsing the XML. So we have the X::pass tag, which is used to parse the XML data. And we have the X::set, wherein we can set a variable using an XPath expression. So we parse it, we set the variable as an XPath expression for later use. And X::if is normal if, wherein if the expression is true, the test condition is true, it prints true, as the body is ignored. And we have the X::for each. Folks, if you see these tags functions the same as core tags, like the code for each, core, choose, when, otherwise. But they are evaluated on the expressions, XPath expressions, rather than the normal values. So let's see. We have a text. We're using cset. It's a core tag. It's a normal variable which we are setting with so much of content. You see here, the book is a root tag, and inside it we have 2 books. So this is the close of cset. The entire content, whatever you're seeing, the books tag as the root tag, books as the root tag, and having two values in it, everything is set into the XML text variable. And this is a normal variable, not an XPath expression or something. You see, we are using the core set tag to set this variable. It's just a normal string which is containing this XML content inside it. And we are using the XPath to extract this or to pass this XML and have it as a output variable. So we have that pass content in a variable output. So if you want to use it, or get like the book expression, or you want to get the the author of a specific book, the price of a specific book, we're going to operate from the output tag. So if you're using if, it gets the XPath expression and it checks this expression. If the price of the second book is greater than 100, the same book of one, second book is greater than 100, it prints book prices are very high. It's as simple, it's the same as equal if, but it operates on an XPath expression against a normal value. So if it is true, the content inside this if gets printed. If not, it's just ignored. And then we have to set the XPath fragments, they have the XColon set. So from the output, we're just getting the book and we're trying to put it in a variable fragment so that we could use this XPath expression variable later. And this XColon choose is used among multiple things. So if this is true, this gets executed. If the second expression is true, this gets executed. If none of the expressions the present in XColon when a value is to true, it executes the content of this otherwise block. So an XColon for us is used to iterate. Like say if you have some, the book, you want to select the name and you just want to print it out as a book name. Storage is used for the iteration. So these, the XML tags look similar from the functionality perspective, like the core tag. If you remember the core tag that we have learned in the previous class, right? It's more similar. So in the last class, we were using the C columns for each to iterate and print some stuff, right? And we are using the C column choose, right? Which has which is a weight variable, and print some, such less than 0, greater than 0, right? So even the XML tag functions the same way, but they operate on XPath expressions. When you pass the XML, we get an XPath expression against a value. So they operate on XPath expressions. Just see. This is printing, books info, and here after passing it, we're checking, XColon if select. If the output has anything like a book, and any tag with the name of the book, so it prints document has at least one book element. And further on, we are trying to get second book price, and we're checking if it is greater than 100. If it is, we are printing book prices are very high, right? And then we're saying the output book order is equals to Zara. We're printing the book is written by Zara. We're using a XColon one. We're checking the output book order is Zara. We're just printing it out. So we're using a one and otherwise over here to get it out. And we are using a for each to just iterate and print out the book name. Folks, any doubts in this?
Hey, Neha, I have got one doubt. In the if statement, right? You have put books one. So is it referring to only one of the element?
Yes, yes. It's because we can specify book of 0, book of 1. Yes, we are spotting to a specific book.
Okay. Because when you choose that book of one, and if the price is greater than 100, then you should print this value. But I guess the value is 100 over there, right?
See, in the second one, it's 2000, right? You see it?
Uh-huh.
So it's greater than 2000. That's why it's printing this. So this expression is evaluating to true. So when it evaluates to true, it prints this.
Okay, okay.
Right.
I forgot, the starting index is 0.
Yes.
Neha, did you create an XSD file or anything from this XML?
No. It is, the XML content, I have just specified it. That I have specified it just like this. You remember using the ccolon set, we can set any variables like string, names, and all that, right?
Right.
So in the same way, Saroj, we are just setting this. There are no XSDs, nothing here. I just specified this as a string content. As good as I'm string S is equal to I'm putting all the XML content. You understand?
Sure. Thank you.
So, it's a little big, but everything is nested inside a ccolon set. We're just setting a variable XML text. It's normal text. It's an XML text that we have, and we are passing that XML text.
I have one question.
Yes, Manu?
What does it mean by parsing, and what exactly we're doing?
Parsing is basically extracting, going to the first node, extracting the tail elements, and going ahead. That's what we call it as a parsing. Let's say I have this XML document. I just want to find out the price of the book for whom author is Zara, right? So I go to the root tag and go here, and if author is Zara, and I try to get the price of it. That's what we mean by parsing.
Okay, so other question is, can we use a file instead of writing our own XML over here?
Yes.
Like I have an
Yes.
XML file. Okay.
Yes. We saw the file input and output, right? Remember? At the end of the core Java. So you can extract a file and you can convert it into a text, right? You can read it using any reader. You can convert it to text. So that part is nothing. Like you can write code before this to get this XML text as a string after reading the file.
Okay, so do we need to use some kind of parser, or we can directly use
No,
a file?
it's you're reading a file. So it internally has its own parser. You're not writing code to parse it. You're using this tag to parse it. The code which we have to write is reading the file.
Okay. Yeah.
So here, before this, you should write code over here to read a file and finally read it and make it as a string variable, and you could use this variable to the string content and you could pass it, Manoj. Is it clear?
Okay. One more thing, where we are using this one, like this, like any general example.
See, in general examples, sometimes we want to create, from a specific content of an XML, we want to make the website or the data that we display on the website dynamically. So that's when we use it. I think the XSLT is dominating this nowadays. Probably it's XSLT.
So what exactly is that?
XSL transformation. So it's used to convert one XML file to another or process the XML file and all this. So these kind of things, when you want to dynamically, some kind of search wherein you already have a loaded XML file and you want to search it. Basically, when you have the persistence of an XML file, you try to read out of it.
Okay.
Or extract out of it.
And what's the relation with XSLT here?
No. The same thing we could do with XSLT also. Instead of same thing could be achieved with XSLT. So you want to iterate through it. It has same tags SSL colon if and all these things. So it's the same thing. It's something similar to the JSL XML tag.
Okay. What exactly this DTD here, loose.dtd, kind of, it's a type of DTD or kind of schema or something else? You see in the first line doc
Yes,
type.
you're talking about this, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a document type definition that we are just specifying this, that we are using HTML4. So if you're using HTML5, it's going to be different.
So is it required that we should use the DTD every time? And I don't have any clue about DTDs or schema, what you call that.
I know it's a document type definition. Like this thing is treated as a document, right? The entire thing, whatever you put. So the definition, whatever we are using is what is specified over here. So here we are using the HTML4 document type definition, so we're just specifying it there.
Okay. So is it like in DTDs, it's kind of a schema for XML file? Because I see a lot of XML files at the beginning, they are using some kind of schema every time, like in Webservices, I guess.
Yes, see, that is XML schema definition, XSD. Okay?
Okay.
Everyone listen very carefully. XSD is different from DTD. XSD is XML schema definition. So, what is a schema? A table schema tells us how the data should be, right? So, if a table has, the schema has a first name, last name, and this, so each record has a first name, last name, and it's specified as a string, this is integer, the salary can be a decimal, right? So, an XSD defines how an XML should look like. Right? So if this is my XML, so what should be my XSD? Please pay attention. Anyway, I think we're going to discuss in further class. The root element, I say it as this, and I have both. So name, this could be a string, and order is a string, and price I mentioned it as an int, right? So XSD is XML schema definition. It specifies how an XML should look like.
So in the same manner, DTD is for HTML. Like how should HTML file look like?
No, it's what we're using inside this.
Okay.
See, okay, let me tell you this way. DTD tells you what we could have inside this XML. So XML doesn't have any rules against the tags, right? You can use any tags you want, right?
Okay.
So the DTD defines the structure with some elements that are allowed and some attributes that are allowed. So let's say in title, can I have an attribute variable here? It has directory and language. I cannot use anything else, right? How does we know this? That's part of this DTD. So this title tag takes only this, and I cannot have a tag by name title one, right? So whatever the tags are allowed, whatever the attributes, the elements inside that's specified as a DTD. I mean, it is to specify what are the blocks that could be part of this XML document. Does it make sense?
XML document or?
I mean, see, this is an XML document. Any XML document, we specify like this. I mean, I'm talking DTD in general, but here we are specifying for HTML.
Okay. So for HTML, we are specifying the DTD over here. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's DTD in general. So what the XML tag can take, right? I can write my own XML having my own tag, I do tag as H2K Infosys, inner tag as the class, one is Java, one is QTP, and right, one is BI. So the tags, whatever is allowed in this specific XML, should be specified as part of a DTD. Okay. Manoj, are you clear?
Yeah, I was just searching on the web.
Okay.
I'm always confused about the DTD and XSD, so that's why.
I think DTD is a older way of defining the structure of the.
See, whatever the
XSD.
stakes, right? And XSD specifies how an XML should look like. Like, here I can use the tags. These are the things that are allowed inside it. That's what a DTD specifies. But an XSD is the schema of an XML file.
Okay, yeah. Because I never had a connection with this front end, so I'm always confused about front end.
Yeah, I think both are same. I think DTD is the older way of defining and XSD is the newer version.
See, the DTD, they are more kind of closely related. Right, see, we cannot like generate XML or convert Java to XML using a DTD, but we do with an XSD. So, that's what I could say for you to understand in a more specific usage, like from the usage perspective, in a real time, how do we use it? Is an XSD, like, for example, if you want to convert a Java object to XML and XML to Java, right? The routing, we use it as an XSD. So, okay, this XML schema is this, right? So, in that scenario, we write XSDs and we use those XSDs for the two ends of convolution. Maybe we use something else for that, but actually, the inputs of how it looks like received from an XSD file. So that's an XSD. Manoj, are you convinced? I think Saroj. Of course, everyone. Do you have any doubts?
Neha, in the real life, like, do we have to remember this whole part? Or we just copy from some file and then put it in our working file.
The DTD?
Yeah, DTD or XSD, whatever is that is doc type, HTML, public.
Usually DTD we specify how many number of JCs I created. Just includes a doc type of specifying. But yeah, we create XSDs. There are some scenarios wherein we need to create XSDs. See, okay, let me tell you this way. DTDs are like the older version, and XSDs have many provisions that they provide, like namespaces and all those things, which a DTD cannot.
My question is that do we have, when we are as a programmer, do I have to know that whole line of type, HTML, public, and then that whole line I have to remember, or I just copy this from somewhere and put it in my code?
See, actually, we just do a copy paste. But in general, if you go and create this, it specifically gives you. We don't try kind of, mug-up or have all these things at the top of your head. If you just get a sample JSP, you just have it. And this, if you ever have some JSPs in your entire project, it's going to be the same. So, real time, maybe it's a little odd to hear. How do we create a JSP page? We create a JSP page. We just copy paste and JSP page which already exists in the project, and we try to tweak on top of it. You understand it, Saroj?
Yes, I do.
Yes, but we should be sensible enough that if at all we are using an HTML5 in a project, we should get and put the HTML5 over here, right? You don't need to know the contents or hyphens and all these things, but we should know why are we using this, or to solve some kind of an issues we are facing. But we don't need to kind of mug up this what exactly we do to include it and all those things. So, any other doubts? Okay. So folks, we have different JSTL functions. There's some tags for the functions. This is like with more the operation of us on a string, like the contains ignoring the case, or if the string ends with the specified suffix. So we have the contains to see if a specific, let's say I have Saruj. So if it is Saruj, contains of OZ, right? So it checks if the string contains in the specified substring. So, and we have the ignore case for it, and to check if a string ends with a suffix. So all these functions are around operating of a string, the different functions, and the index of it returns index. I have a bigger string and I have a substring of it. So it gives the first index of first occurrence, the index of the first occurrence of the substring. Let's say I have a string 1 and I have a string 2 with a smaller part of string 1. So the index of returns the index of the first occurrence of string 2 inside string 1. So, and we have the join. We join all, let's say I have an array and I have 3 elements inside that array, right? So I can specify a hyphen or comma. So it says the ABC, so A hyphen B hyphen C. So an array, it forms into a single string. It's the opposite of a split. So if I have a string, I can split it based on, if I have A comma B comma C, I can split it based on a comma and I get an array of substrings. Let's say I get 3. The join does the reverse of it. So when we have an array, it joins all the strings present in the array. So we get length to get the number of items in the collections, or the length to get the number of characters in a string, and we have the replace. So we can replace a specific string or with another string. These are more on string based, so 2 lowercase or substring after or substring before, and string to remove the spaces at the end of the string. So we have different functions to just do the functions on a string. So folks, do you remember the string class, java.lang.string? What's the unique feature of the string class? Folks, what is the unique feature of the string class?
What did you ask?
What is the unique feature of the string class?
Unique?
Feature.
Immutable.
Yes.
Immutable. It's a immutable
Yes.
class.
Immutable. The first thing that comes to our mind when we talk about string class is immutable. String objects are immutable. What do we mean by immutable?
Once created, it
Cannot
can't change.
Once we
cannot be
create
extended further.
We can't change.
string object, once created, we cannot change it, right?
Yeah.
So let's say I have a string s is equal to abc and I say s dot concat of def. So what happens when I say s dot concat of def?
You'll create a new object using the old immutable object. String object.
Yes. We have the old object abc and it creates a new object abcdef. So we have 2 different objects. One is abc and the other is.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website H2kinfosys.com. On our website H2kinfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.